If you're looking for support in your life or business, look no further. We have opened applications from now until the end of September for new coaching clients. Head on over to sashadavis.com/apply now to see if you're a great fit for my style of coaching. Can't wait to connect. Today I want to talk about if we are having the same conversation a year from now. I have this conversation with a lot of women, and there was one woman in particular who I had the same exact conversation 1 year later. And I said to her, well, at first I wasn't sure if it was the same woman or not. I was like, I'm pretty sure I've talked to this woman. You know how like you just know when you've talked to somebody before, but you're not for sure because, well, maybe you're not in my shoes, but like I talk to a lot of people on the regular. Like I do calls all day long, anywhere from 6 to 10 calls a day, basically anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. So I talk to a lot of people about a lot of different things. And sometimes I don't always put names to faces or names to conversations, things like that. Like I recognize their first name. I hope you know what I mean. Anyways, I talk to a lot of people and I don't remember every single detail. And it's not like I was thinking about the people who I was talking to a year ago from now, which just shows that like we're all consumed in our own shit, that we don't pay attention to what other people are doing. So nobody's paying attention to what you're doing. So you should just live your life. But I was talking to this woman and I was like, man, this conversation seems really familiar. And I didn't say anything because I didn't want to like be weird about it, you know, but she goes, and I literally said to her, do you want to be having this same conversation with me next year, or are you ready to change your life? And she goes, Sausha, we did have this conversation a year ago. And I was like, oh shit, I was right. Like I knew I talked to you before. And I kind of started to chuckle and I said, well, I tell you what, like, how do you feel right now? And she's like, well, I feel silly. I feel stupid. I feel like I should have just jumped off the ledge last year when I talked to you because I was ready for change then. She goes, but I just kept telling myself that I couldn't make the money, or I couldn't find the time, or it was because of this, or it was because of that. And I said, and do you see now that those were just excuses? And she's like, yes. And I'm like, if you want something bad enough, you will find a way to make it happen. But that's when resistance creeps up, our monkey mind creeps up, all of these things creep up to like keep us from the things that we desire most in our life. And it's because that's what our brain has trained us to do. It's trained us to be safe. But what if we tried to just lessen that resistance? And so I talked about this on Instagram the other day. Maybe it was yesterday. Honestly, guys, I don't focus much in the past. Nothing happens there. Nobody lives there. I don't spend a lot of energy thinking about it. Yes, it's nice to go back and see why we did the things that we did and learn and grow from them, but I do not dwell on the past, and I rarely talk about the past. And when people bring up the past to me, I'm like, go live in the past then. Like, I'm thinking about now, I'm thinking about the future and all of the possibility and opportunity in front of me. I don't care if so-and-so wronged so-and-so, or if one point in time I was whatever. I don't care. Like, great, that makes me a stronger person, all the shit that I went through, but like, I'm not that person anymore. I'm so disconnected from who that person was 10 years ago, but it's because I took a chance on myself and decided that I'm going to focus on the now and the future, and I have the ability to change that, right? Like, you have the ability to create your own path. And so I was talking to this woman and I was like, dang, like, how are you going to feel if we're having the same conversation next year? And she goes, I can't keep living my life like this. And I said, I know exactly how you feel because I was there too. And I've practiced lots of personal and professional development before I launched my own personal and professional development business, before I launched my own life and business coaching business. That sounds weird to say. That's a lot of business in there. But it's because the breadcrumbs led me here. And when something is put on your head and your heart, when it's put in your head or on your heart, it is meant for you. It's not put there to make you feel bad. It's not put there to make you feel small or like it's impossible. It was put on your heart for a reason, and it will continue to surface and resurface and resurface and resurface and resurface until you do something about it. These things were put in your path for a reason, right? So for me, there's certain things that are put in my path because they were meant for me. I have a very different path than somebody next to me or you listening to this. You may have a very different path, or you may have a very similar path. You may see similarities in my journey that you're like, oh man, I want that too. And I want to tell you, you can have it. You can have it. There is enough for all of us. Just because you want to start a life coaching business or a business coaching business or a health coaching business, or you want to make candles, or you want to teach horseback riding lessons, or you want to host retreats, or you want to be an event planner, or you want to create an app that teaches people personal development, whatever it is. You want to do a woodworking business or insurance business. I don't care what it is. There is enough for all of us to go around. There is enough. And that's what really irks me, at what I just get so passionate about, is that, especially in this area that I'm in, I feel like people are really stuck in like the limited lack mindset or like the fear-based mindset. You know, it's so funny because I'll be having conversations with people online and I'll use numbers. I don't even give a shit anymore. Numbers don't fucking scare me. Money doesn't fucking scare me. And I used to be terrified of money, but I'm just so sick of being silent about it. You know, I talk to these people and they think $1,000 is expensive for something. And I was like, are you shitting me? Which it was funny because like 5 years ago, $1,000 would have scared me. But now, like, talking about these like 20, 30, 40, 50 plus. I've even had conversations with people, and not that like I invested in a $250,000 mastermind, but like they are out there. Like there's people who spend $250,000 a year on just coaching. And so when I hear somebody say that like $100 is too much, or $1,000 is too much, or $2,000 is too much, or $10,000 is too much, I just kind of chuckle and I'm like, man, like money is just money. Like you can call it in if you really want it. Like that's what I'm working on. And the more money I receive, the more money I can give to people. There's enough for everybody. Like just imagine if all of the good people in the world, like me and yourself and those in your circle that you're like, man, that's a really good person. Like they deserve the world. Like imagine what they could do if they got out of their own way and just started to help other people and make money doing it. Like it would be that ripple effect, right? I just had somebody message me the other day that said, I was able to go on vacation and fix my car and sign up for the retreat and still have money left over. That would have not been possible had she not gotten out of her own way a couple years ago and started working with me. And I'm not saying that like I'm the magic person. I mean, as long as she was getting out of her own way and investing in herself at some point, but like now she's able to manifest anything that she wants with those tools, you know, and that's what all that coaching is it's helping you get out of your own way. And so I was talking to this woman on the phone, let's take a step back. And I just kept saying like, man, I wonder how many people do this where they're like year after year after year after year. And I know the answer to this. It's a lot of people because I talk to a lot of people and it's the same conversation over and over and over. They talk themselves out of something that they want instead of just going for it and being like, what's the worst that can happen? And a lot of times it's money that stops them, or it's having permission from somebody else. And ladies, this may be an unpopular opinion. I understand that you need to have a conversation with your husband, but when did we put the ball in his fucking court? Like, when did we say that I can't do something unless I get my husband's permission or my children's permission or my boss's permission? No, I don't operate that way. I have conversations with my husband and I say, listen, and he does the same thing to me because we trust each other. And if he wants something bad enough, I'm going to help him make it possible because I'm not an asshole. And this just drives me insane. I just can't get over it, you guys. So if there's something that I really, really want, first, I'll either do it and I'll be like, hey, husband, this is what I did. don't worry, I have it all figured out. Because men are really black and white. They want to know numbers. They want to know, like, well, how is this going to help you? How is this going to benefit us? Blah, 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 blah. So I make sure that I have all of my ducks in a row, and I say, hey, listen, like, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how it's going to help me, and this is how it's going to help you, and this is how I'm going to make it happen. And then usually he's like, oh, okay, well, if it's something that you really care about and is going to help you, then do it. He's never, a couple of times he's told me no, and I'm like, listen, you get to do the things that you want to do. I get to do the things that I want to do. We're both responsible for our own happiness, which in turn, if you're happy and I'm happy, our relationship is happy, right? You don't get that happiness in another person. You find that happiness within yourself, and then you marry that other person, or you engage in happiness with that person, okay? What my husband does, I'm happy for him, but I'm also happy for myself. And the same thing with him. He's happy without me. I'm happy by myself. We're happy without each other, but we're even happier when we are with each other. And he doesn't need my permission to do things. If he wants to do something, if he wants to go golf with his buddies, sometimes I'll throw like a bitch fit about it, because I'm like, well, I want you to spend time with me, But I'm like, no, he needs time away. And I'm like, you want to go golf with your buddies? Go fucking golf with your buddies. Like, have a blast. Let me know if you need anything, right? Same thing with me. I'm like, hey, I'm going to go have a coffee date with a friend. And he's like, how long are you going to be? I'm like, don't worry about it. I'm going to go have, and we just get along really well in that aspect, right? And so it's this give take, but we both bring our own happiness to the table. And this is something that stops so many people from having the life that they desire, is because they want their husband to be 1000% on board. And I'm telling you, he is not responsible for your happiness or the things that are placed on your heart. You have to find it within you to be happy on your own and make shit happen on your own. This is a sense of empowerment. This is empowerment. This is independence. Like, I understand the partnership. I understand that, guys. I'm fucking married. I've been with the guy for like 12 years. No, 11 years. And I think we're happily married. I try not to lie about it. Do we fight? Yeah, about stupid shit. It's usually not like really big shit. Like last year I tried to divorce him when I was like 9 months pregnant, because I was like, I hate everybody. I'm so pregnant. It sucks. And that was life. Like I literally was like ready to divorce my husband just because he was being a human. But I think it was just hormones, and it happens, right? Like, I'm not the only one that probably wanted to divorce their spouse at some point in time. So it is what it is. But if the world came to an end and I couldn't be with my spouse, I would have to find it within myself to find happiness within myself. Okay. But I enjoy being in that relationship. I enjoy being in that partnership. Would it break my heart if he wasn't on board? No. Would I be sad? Yeah. But he doesn't have the same dreams as I do. He doesn't. And I don't need his support or his permission to do the things that I want to do in life. And I'm telling you guys, when you can start having those open conversations with your spouse, with your partner, things start to change. They do. The first time I signed up for a coaching program, he was not on board. But I just was like, you know what? Ball's in my court, man. Like, this is on my heart. I gotta find a way to make it happen, or I'm gonna be miserable, which in turn will make you miserable. So what are our options? And I had to dig really deep, and I found a way to make it happen. Was I in a great financial position? Heck no, I was not. I was terrible with money, you guys. I was terrible with money, but I don't live there anymore. Like, that's not in my head anymore. Was that part of my life at that time? Yeah, that was a lesson that I had to learn. It was a really hard lesson to learn. But I'm telling you that you have time. You have money. You don't need permission. If it's something that's on your heart, give yourself permission to do it. And then ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? Just paint that picture. What's the worst that could happen? And what is the likelihood of that actually happening? And a lot of times people are just scared of their own success. I've been there. Heck, there's sometimes where I'm like, oh God, do I really want to do this? People will see me. Like having this conversation with you guys, talking about money. I'm like, I've been wanting to have this kind of conversation because I just laugh. It's just funny to me because I'm just so disconnected from it. I was talking to a gal the other day and she's like, yeah, I'm doing a 5-day retreat at this like horse ranch and da-da-da-da-da. And she's charging like $8,000 for it. I'm like, heck yeah, woman, like get it. But it takes a certain type of person to invest at that level. It does. Like, let's be honest. Not everybody can, but not everybody has the mindset to get there. Everybody has the ability. I believe that wholeheartedly, that everybody has the ability to call in all the abundance their heart desires, but not everybody has the mindset tools to get them to that point. Heck, if somebody would have told me about an $8,000 retreat like 5 or 6 years ago, I'd have been like, you are insane. And I would have packed my bags and went running. But I'm like, no, like money is just money. Like when's the last time you've seen like a stack of $8,000? Like it's all just energy on the freaking internet. It's all just energetic exchanges. It's not like, to me, like money's not even real. I mean, it is because like you need it to like buy things. But at the same time, like, when's the last time you had just a big fat stack of cash just like walking around and like, I just find it funny when people are like, oh, I want to make 10 grand. And I'm like, well, why do you want to make 10 grand? So I can buy this or buy that or donate here or help my parents or do this. I'm like, so you don't actually want the money. You want what money can do for you. Like, I don't know anybody who would just, maybe I should sometime. Maybe I should just go take out a bunch of money in the bank and throw it on my bed and just like roll around in it just for shits and giggles. But then what? Then I just want to go spend it on experiences or something or go help somebody, I love nothing more than being able to like give back. And I've been able to give back more this year than I ever have, ever. So the more you make, the more you can give. Just think of that. Money is a tool. It's energy. It's a resource, and it can be used for good in the world. You just have to get out of your own way and call it in. There's not like a certain amount of number out there where it's like, oh, there's only $1 million that can be dispersed throughout the United States. Like that's not a thing. It's not. And so some books I would recommend if you're having issues with these things is like Money, a Love Story, or anything Abraham Hicks, Law of Attraction manifestation stuff. You Are a Badass at Making Money, Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Happy Pocket Full of Money. The list goes on. Like if you're finding that you have like issues with money, just start reading all the books, doing all the things, right? Look at your budget, see what you want to make and what you're making now and how you can make it happen. Force yourself to think outside the box, and so this is anything. This isn't just a coaching program. I'm talking about like if you want to go to yoga teacher training, or if you want to start a business, or if you want to go on a cruise, or if you want to travel the world for a month and you're just like feeling stuck, but the thing's on your heart and you want to make it happen, make it happen. Find a way. Do you really want to be 60, 70, 80 years old saying like, man, I wish I would have spent more time with my kids, or I wish I would have started that business, or I wish I would have at least tried? At least give yourself the decency to try. I don't know. I feel very lighthearted about life now. And I know there's a lot of heavy shit in the world, and I wouldn't be able to donate to some of these places who are doing these things. If that's what's on their heart is called to help humanity in that sense, then that's what they're going to do. And if I can help them with their mission monetarily, or even by like giving my time, I can do that now. I wasn't able to do that before, and now that's something that I am happily able to give, and so it's just like the gift that keeps on giving. And that's what I want to gift to you guys too. And in these conversations that I'm having on the phone with mostly women, every now and then I'll talk to a guy too, and they have similar beliefs too. But I tell you what, guys they rarely say, I need to check with my wife. Because I think our humanity, or our culture, really makes it seem like the man is the breadwinner, and the man's the one that makes the decisions, and the man's the one that does this, and this. And that may be true in some households, but I like to think of things as a partnership, and that everybody's responsible, for having a happy, healthy marriage, and you're responsible for your happiness, and he's responsible for his happiness, and together you're responsible for the happiness of your marriage together as a couple, and your family and your finances and things like that. So I hope this makes sense. But I just wanted to say to you, I would hate to be having the same conversation with you a year from now, because change is possible now if you just allow yourself the opportunity to believe, to see what's possible. Envision it. Picture it in your mind. Like, write down all the things that you want. I guarantee they're different than the things that I want. Write down all the things that you want. And why do you want those things? Let's go deep here. Write all the things down that you want. Now, next year, 5 years, 10 years, your lifetime. Write them all down. What do you want? What's your plan to get those things? Why do you want those things? What will they bring you? A lot of times they'll bring you freedom. They'll bring you happiness. They'll bring you joy. They'll bring you love. They'll bring you connection. And it's the feelings that we're after. It's not necessarily the money to make them happen. It's the feeling that we're after. So money is just a tool to get the things that make you happy, to buy you the time to do the things that make you happy, right? It's not scary. Don't think of it as scary. You can always make more of it. The one thing I always say to people is you can never get your time back. Even like this 20, 30 minutes that you're listening to this podcast episode, you will never get this time back. And I apologize if this wasn't your, actually I don't apologize. You're listening to this for a reason. But this 20 minutes, you're never going to get back. Sorry, it's gone. It's in the past. Don't focus on it. But you have the opportunity to change what you do for the rest of today, for the rest of tomorrow, for the rest of your future. And you also have the opportunity to call in and make more money. You have that opportunity to make more money. You can't get your time back. You can't create more time. You can maybe move your time around in the day so that you can create more space to do the things that you enjoy. You can create more capacity to do the things that you enjoy, but we all have the same 24 hours. Does that irritate you? That used to irritate the shit out of me when people would be like, oh, we all have the same 24 hours. I'm like, fuck you, man. But now I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. That makes sense. Yes, we do. But we all have different capacities, right? So I may have more capacity, more space in my day than you do. And that may irk you because I have time to do the things that I enjoy. I have time to, work with people that I enjoy working with. And if that irritates you, it's probably just because there's part of you that wants that in your life and you're upset that you don't have it right now. But I'm telling you, you can have it. It is possible for you. It is possible for you. Believe that it is possible, because it is. You just have to remove all of the blocks and resistance that are in your path. And so this is where the law of attraction comes in, and you have to create that path of least resistance. And all you have to do is move the resistance and you'll have a clear path. Move the resistance and you'll have a highway straight to whatever it is that you desire. Okay, I hope this makes sense. So, biggest takeaway, take action today. Write down all the things that are on your head and in your heart and on your head, whatever. And ask yourself, why do you want those things? What's really stopping you? Do you need to find the time, make the time, let go of some things so you have the time to do what you want to do? Do you need to have that uncomfortable conversation with your spouse about what your heart truly desires and quit saying that it's your spouse's, the reason that you don't do what you want to do is because of your spouse? Quit putting the blame on him. It's your fault. You're to blame. You are responsible for you. You can't put that shit on somebody else. That's not fair. That's not fair to him. That's not fair to him. He is his own person. He is not your master. He is not your God. He is not your spirit guide. He doesn't get to say what you get to do. You do. Don't put that pressure on him. Don't put that pressure on anybody. Don't put that pressure on your kids. Don't put that pressure on your parents. Put that pressure right back on yourself, because you are in control of you. You are in control of you. And let's not have the same conversation next year. Let's have a different conversation. Let's change the story. Let's say you're out there doing all the things that you could do. What does that look like a year from now? Man, that'd be really fucking cool, huh? I'm excited for you. And if you're looking for help, head on over SashaDavis.com/apply now. I'd love to be a part of your journey. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for listening to the Sausha Davis podcast. For more information on personal and professional development, we've created a master list of all of the resources discussed in the podcast and the blog. So head on over to SashaDavis.com/resources for our full list.